Ladies, we are on the show here tonight, and tonight on the show we're going to talk about the Green Bay schedule. Tonight we're going to talk about the Green Bay schedule and what are my expectations for them. So when I look at the schedule, I'm like, oh my lord, I'm not sure about Green Bay. I know they have a weak defense. It's softer than toilet paper. So I was a little bit worried, but their schedule's not that hard. At the end of the day, you still have one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Aaron Rodgers. I like that receiver they drafted from Notre Dame. They got Jimmy Graham, tight end, they let go Jordy Nelson, who Aaron Rodgers was not very happy about. But hey, they got a good tight end now. I like that kid they got out of Notre Dame, the wide receiver. They address the secondary. Now the problem with those secondary players, I would have liked them to address the secondary a little bit more on free agency. Because I feel like my philosophy would be address what you need to address on free agency and get veteran players that have been there before. And then whatever you would like to add, like a receiver, a running back, a tight end, address those in the draft. Because to me, I feel like offensive players figure it out a little bit easier. Where I feel like defensive players take a while to figure shit out. So that's what but this team is not really known for free agency. They're known for drafting and developing. So other than Jimmy Graham, they didn't really make a move. This is how this team works. They like to draft and develop. So I'm not surprised, but I think if it would have been some other franchise, you would have probably seen them be a little bit more activated in the free agency to address their secondary. But this team does not work like that. They like to save their money and they like to draft and develop. Hey, whatever, they have the New England Patriots seem to do this. They like to draft and develop. And both of them, it works. They're in the playoffs almost every year. So whatever. But let's look at their schedule. Let's look at their schedule here. All right. Let me get my what the fuck is this shit? All right, hold on. Let me get my mark. Oh shit. I apologize. I'm a professional. All right. First game, Sunday Night Football. First Sunday Night Football of the season. Green Bay, Chicago. I'm going to say Green Bay take it. It's at Lambeau Field. I think Green Bay takes it. Next team, Minnesota at Green Bay. I feel Green Bay's going to say, hey, you guys last year, you guys are the division winners, but hey, we didn't have Aaron Rodgers. And if you remember, that's the game where Aaron Rodgers got taken out by that Minnesota linebacker. So I think Aaron Rodgers is going to want to whoop that ass. So I feel 2-0. Next, Washington, 3-0. Next, Bills, 4-0. Next, Detroit at Detroit is going to be a tough game, but usually Detroit can win this game, but I don't know. I just feel like the Packers are going to get off to a fast start. 5-0. San Francisco, but it's in Green Bay. It could be a little bit cold by now. I'm going to say Green Bay. This is where you lose your first game. I think Green Bay's going to get off to a fast start, but this will be their first loss. They have to travel to Los Angeles to play to play the LA Rams. That's a very good football team. They have a lot of new players. They have to figure it out. I don't know. That's another team that can get off to a slow start because of all their new players. But that's a game that could be their first loss. That could be their first loss. Next week, you have to go to New England. That's most likely a loss as well. So you're starting to you go through a little bit of a hard schedule right there. But whatever. Next, then you get yourself, take all your frustrations out. You most likely will be at least 1 or 2 game losing streaks. Sorry, chicken legs, don't watch this shit because most likely they're taking the frustrations out on Miami. Next, another hard game at Seattle. Seattle, they're not that good anymore, but they always seem to beat Green Bay. I don't know why they always seem to beat them. And it's at Seattle, so I got Seattle. Next, Minnesota at Minnesota. If Minnesota is about shit, if they're made of something, they'll win that game. If not, maybe they'll fold and they'll get swept by Green Bay. Next, Arizona, but it's in Lambeau Field. It's too cold for Arizona. They will lose. Next, Atlanta and Lambeau Field. It's going to be a good game, but I think Green Bay wins. Next, they have to go to Chicago late in the year. That's going to be a tough game because of the rivalry they have. But I feel the Packers are going to be trying to get in these playoffs, and not only these playoffs, but try to get a high seed as possible. Chicago could win that game though, because I feel Chicago's going to be better this year, and it's going to be at home. Chicago, it's going to be week 15. It's going to be late in the year. Chicago's going to, at this point, I think they're going to know what they're doing. Mitchell Trubisky and Coach Matt Nagy are going to have, they're going to have, at this point, it's going to be 14 games into the season. So they're going to know what they're doing. They could win that game. Next, you finish up versus the Jets. I feel like by this point, the Jets will be eliminated. They'll be a win for Green Bay. And then you finish up at the Lions. If it matters, Packers win. If it doesn't, Lions win, whatever. I think 12 to 13 wins. That's what I'm thinking. 13 to 12 wins. We'll see what happens. It might be a little bit too high. Excuse me. It might be a little bit too high. We'll see. I need to see how that secondary is. That's what I'm worried about Green Bay. Their secondary. We need to see how that secondary looks. If that secondary is ready to go, which I don't think so, because like I said, mostly it's going to be a lot of rookies. Dixon. We'll see how that secondary looks. It may be a little bit less. I might be getting a little bit too excited for the Packers. But anyways, we'll see what happens. 12 and 13. Let me know in the comment section. I may be getting a little bit too excited for the Packers. Last thing I want to talk to tonight on the show, the live stream. We had the live stream tonight. So a few people missed it. Both Ronald and Marty missed it. Marty told me he was at work. Ronald, I have no idea where the hell Ronald's at. I have not seen Ronald since I told his Cowboys are only winning 7 games this year. I think he's mad at me. I am sorry, Ronald. But yeah, I have not seen Ronald since I made the Cowboys preview, and I told him Mo and Heiss are winning 7 games. Ronald has not been seen since then. So I don't know what the deal with Ronald. I don't know if he has left the show. I'm not the only one saying that. Today, Philly 500 said it too. 7 wins. You're not that good, Ronald. I'm sorry. Maybe when the season starts, you'll figure it out. But right now, you got worse. You lost your tight end. Jason Witten. And Des Bryant. But Des Bryant to me doesn't even matter because he wasn't even getting along with Prescott. But you're going to miss your lead. That's your leader, Jason Witten. And I feel the problem is they're going to... Look, we're not going to... This is not a Cowboys video. Fuck this. But if you missed the live stream, go check it out. It's an hour and 40 minutes. So if you want to watch all of it, go ahead. You better make some time. If you don't, maybe just check out the first 10-20 minutes. I want to thank everybody that joined me. Cruz, Fox87, Shaylin Orb, I think his name was. Chicken Lex was there for a little bit. And then we have a new fan on the show. Jack. All the way from UK. He joined us tonight all the way from UK. It was about a 7-hour difference. It was like 1 o'clock here. It was like 7 o'clock or in the UK. And he joined us. I want to thank Jake. Thank you, Jake. He didn't know a lot. He wanted to talk about soccer. I tried to talk about a little bit about the World Cup. But hey, Jake, thank you for joining the show. He subscribed. We got like 2 to 3 new subscribers today. I want to thank the fans. Thank you for the new subscribers. We have about 2 to 3 new subscribers. Thank you. I appreciate it. Continue to promote the show. But that's, yeah, so if you were not able to make the live stream, Chicken Legs was only there for a little bit. I think he had to work or something. So Chicken Legs, I don't know if you want to go check it out again. You were there for a little bit. Ronald missed it. Marty told me he was at work. Ronald, I don't know where the hell he's at. But yeah, go check it out. Also, Philly 500 told me he wasn't able to get there. He was gonna watch the review. Thank you, Philly 500. David in Atlanta, I think he's a little bit sad because his Falcons lost. Versus the Jets. David in Atlanta, if you're watching this video, I am sorry. Keep your head up. It's only preseason. But yeah, so a few people missed it. But it's gonna happen. Chicken Legs missed it last week. He was there this week. So far the only guy who's been there for all of them has been Fox 87. So thank you, Fox 87. You are the man. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say for tonight on the show. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight on the show. And if you missed the live stream, go check it out. you know, whatever. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say for tonight. Until next time, I will see you later. I am as good as advertising. I will see you later. I am the man that wants to play. I am C. Subscribe if you have not. Anyways, until next time, I am C, and I will see you later. Man, I cannot speak lately. Speak too much, my fucking throat hurts.